Should you buy? Should you sell? Should you hold? Should you enter positions, exit positions? Should you be out? Should you be in? It's wild how much noise there is. I wrote an article in the UIG. Shout out if you're in the UIG. Do let me know in the comments below. I wrote an article a day or two ago, and the feedback was really positive. And I thought, like, this is the core philosophy of how I approach crypto, DeFi, but zoomed out from there, how I approach investing and reaching escape velocity, how I think about money, how I think about returns, yields, and just overall how my core investment thesis looks like. And I really hope this is valuable to you, because I promise you, and this is just a hard truth, and you can let me know if you disagree in the comments. I'd love to have a conversation around it. Most people who try to time the markets, or they try to beat more passive approaches to the markets, lose. There's been enough studies done. If we're talking traditional investments, you look at actively traded funds versus like an index style fund. It's like 95% of the time or so, the index beats an actively managed, traded, in and out type investor. There are so many forces and factors and influences that are completely out of our control that even a chart, as you are trying to trade and time things, can never tell you. So I wrote this article and I wanted to go through it with you. And I hope, and again, in the comments, or hit the thumbs up, or just give me feedback on if we're on the same page for this. Most people are losing because they just heard about DeFi. They get all crazy about it. They open up a wallet and they enter a tight range on some uncorrelated or mid cap type alt, and they enter a 6% range because they can earn 600%. They chase yield, and then they wonder why they go out of range within 2 days. And then they keep locking in impermanent loss on the way down. They don't understand the dynamics and the mechanisms at play. And so this is like level one. If we don't master this, what I'm about to cover, and we don't just stick to it consistently, then don't worry about level 2, level 3, level 4. Right now, we have some very advanced strategies that people in Fast Track, clients in Fast Track, but also some UIG members are deploying. They made a ton of money over the last few days shorting the markets. Like, yes, there's advanced strategies, but if we can't master the basics, or at least have a thesis for ourselves, what are we doing? So I really hope this gives you value. So the article is called, "Do I buy, should I sell, or do I hold?" I think that the market is full of noise. You just jump on Twitter in times of volatility. Like right now, what are we looking at? $83,000 Bitcoin for a while there. I think we hit 76. We're down around 28% from the 95s, 98s, 100s. A little while ago, I know we peaked at around the 107 mark. We saw a bunch of red. We saw a big bounce back down, back up, back down. Bitcoin could hit 50K tomorrow. Bitcoin could hit 100K tomorrow. Bitcoin could hit 120. Bitcoin could hit 40. I can't predict the markets. There's so many factors outside of our control. Yes, I can look at the moving averages. Yes, I can look at the RSI. Yes, I can look at inflows, outflows. I can get an idea of macroeconomics, what the overall narratives are, and I can make educated guesses. But I know that even with all the resources I have available to me, the entire team that we have built, all the feedback that I'm constantly getting, I can't predict where the markets are going. And so I have a very simple core philosophy that I base all of my decisions around. One, buy as much of whatever asset you believe in as you can. To me, that's Bitcoin. To you, that may be something else. I see Bitcoin as the most asymmetric bet of our lifetime. It's digital property, the hardest money. Institutions, nation states, billionaires, people who are extremely savvy investors are accumulating it. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't you? And so to me, and you don't have to copy this, I'm just saying my thesis is, and my investment strategy is, I want to hold as much of it as I can. So I want to buy as much of it as I can. I want to hold it for as long as I can. I want to hold my Bitcoin. I have some alts. And again, it doesn't have to be Bitcoin for you. It can be whatever that is for you. As of this writing, Bitcoin was 78,000. I'm pretty happy with that. I was accumulating Bitcoin at 20,000, 30,000. Yes, I accumulated some at 80,000, 90,000. I always ask people in 2032, let's say, do you think Bitcoin and crypto as a market will be bigger then than it is now? If the answer is yes, accumulate. Who cares what the short-term price action is doing? If you think DeFi is going to be bigger in 10 years than it is now, I'm placing that bet. Awesome. Invest in it. And so I always ask this question, would my future self be happy with this decision? Where do I see, in this instance, Bitcoin going? That could be a different asset for you, of course. Where do I see it going in the future? I always tell people this too. I really hope this is helpful. Again, communicate with me in the comments. If I had to place all of my net worth into one asset, and then I had to fall asleep for 10 years, so I could not touch it for 10 years. I had to place one bet, only one, into only one asset, and I couldn't touch it for 10 years. I went to bed and I woke up, and the goal was to have more purchasing power. It would be Bitcoin. If the goal was to play defense and preserve the wealth, then I would probably just buy a crap load of land. I'd go to sleep in 15 years or 10 years. I'd wake up and it'd be like, oh, okay, I've preserved my wealth. And then probably the third option, if I couldn't do Bitcoin and then I couldn't do land, would most likely be precious metals, gold. If I couldn't do those, I would probably purchase some very exotic and rare vehicles where I could fall asleep, and in 10 years, I'd preserve my purchasing power. But if the goal was growth, it would be Bitcoin. And so you want to hold it for as long as you can. You don't sell it. You want to trade your fiat for whatever assets you find valuable, and you want to hold for as long as you can. Now, you can take loans against it so you can cash flow. You can do that with real estate, with land, with gold. You can do it even with your stock portfolio, by the way. So accumulate it, hold for as long as you can. If you want, you can borrow against it. It's tax-free, which is awesome. And then you can do what you want with it, create yields, returns, etc. And then 3, so I want to buy the assets that I believe in the most. I want to buy as much of it as I can, hold it for as long as I can. And then I love DeFi because I can create cash flow from it. I think 2 main ways, although there's a lot of more advanced strategies, but we're talking DeFi lending and liquidity pools and staking. Now, within providing liquidity, there's a lot of strategies within that, and it is an advanced move, and we do have to study them. But I think people underestimate the power of... I was on a call with traditional investors, and I was showing them how they could do 40% in DeFi, and they thought I was a complete scam. They were like, there was no way. There was no way. And finally, when they saw it, they're like, oh my God, if I could do 25%, I am laughing to the bank. They were super pumped on it, yet people in the crypto DeFi space, they see 50% and they're like, that's not enough. I don't think they realize how much that actually is. If you could do 6%, 7%, 8% on average every month, get 80, 90, 100% a year. I don't think so many people in the space don't fully comprehend how insane that is. I'm lending, I got some leverage going too, but if I do 12 to 14% on my lending, I am laughing to the bank all day long. I'm collecting assets I want to hold, buying as much of them as I can, holding for as long as I can, and then creating cash flow from them. And so we kind of came up with this phrase, stack, hold, multiply, and then I was going through the comments and I freaking love this. I am 100% on board for having some cool merch, stack, hold, multiply. But fundamentally, this sums up, and thank you, Ron, for I think maybe you were joking, but I'm serious about this. This would be a cool t-shirt. I don't think people think long-term enough to actually make DeFi work for them. They want to get rich, or even crypto. They want to get rich now, and then so they buy, they accumulate, then the markets take a 25%, 30% pullback. They start freaking out, and they make the stupidest decisions. When in a year or 2 years from now, all of this little stuff, you can't even see it on a chart. Now, again, I've done enough research to place what I see as an asymmetric bet on assets that I want to hold long term, and the short term doesn't scare me off. In fact, I get more excited the harder things pull back, because I can deploy more capital, I can deploy profits from my yield farming and my DeFi portfolios, and I can just buy more of these assets. Stack, hold, multiply. In the comments, let me know if we're seeing eye to eye here, or if you disagree, also let me know. But what I will add to that is many people who take a short-term approach, they get greedy, they chase the APYs, they don't really fundamentally understand the assets they're investing in, and that they're just chasing yield, and they're not concerned with which assets they're actually providing. They either get lucky a couple times and then they get wrecked, or they get wrecked right off the bat. Strategy is important, and the assets we're investing in are important. And there's no need to go super advanced if we haven't yet mastered the basics. I really hope this video lands. I'm gonna send it as is. Again, if anything landed, do let me know in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. We are on a mission to just get as many people educated around crypto and DeFi, alternative investments, and just financial literacy, financial education, and just playing the long game, because the traditional kind of finance world is rigged, and it's rigged against us badly. DeFi gives us a door, an opportunity into something that, doesn't just promise 6 or 8% returns where we're just barely keeping up with inflation. You're not actually getting more purchasing power year over year. You're just keeping up. And I'm like, well, that just simply won't cut it. Anywho, I could ramble on that forever. I'm going to let you go. Again, like this video, subscribe to this channel. Let me know in the comments below what landed. And with that said, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.